Yeah, YouTube. So in this video I'm going to be spray painting the Wpl C74-1. Basically, to start with, I'm just giving it a light dust coat, just so the paint sticks to the body and then gives the heavier coat something to stick to. I'm using just a general purpose acrylic spray, no specific model paint or anything. And yeah, I mean, also the one that I'm painting up, unfortunately I lost the original footage and I had a second one to paint, so this is why this one that's been painted is orange and finished product will be yellow, but the same process, just different colour. So yeah, just trying to get everything a light dust coat here and then build up the coats from there. Yeah, this paint that I'm using, the general purpose acrylic, is actually quite forgiving and dries quite quickly, so you don't really need to leave an awful lot of time between coats. As long as you don't go too heavy in one spot, keep the can moving, then you should get a reasonable job out of it. Also, if the first coat does dry a little bit orange peely or rough looking, it's not a major problem, because generally as the paint dries out it smooths itself out to a point anyway, and even if it doesn't smooth itself out enough, the clear coat over the top of it will smooth it out, or if it doesn't, then there's always a bit of wet and dry, a very light sand, and then the clear coat. But yeah, I mean, just generally to start with, because I'm trying to paint the inside as well as the outside of this one, just so anything I just want to show. But yeah, just generally lots of light coats and building it up. I mean, literally it's just a few minutes between each coat, if that even, really. But yeah, so anyway. When I laid out the parts to paint, I laid them so that I painted the inside first, or what would be the inside, and just basically, like I say, it's very fast drying paint, so that meant that I could turn them over quite quickly, and then that way the what's hopefully going to be the decent coat will be on the outside, and I don't have to move them after that. So, but yeah, I like to paint the inside as well as the outside, so that when you open the doors and things, you don't see white and stuff. Should go without saying that when you're spray painting, always do it in a well ventilated area, outside preferably. I'm under a gazebo here, but obviously all the sides are open, so there's plenty of ventilation. And you probably, I guess, ideally should be wearing a sort of paint mask, but if it's well ventilated enough, I didn't have any problems anyway. If the parts you're painting are laid flat, then you can be a little bit heavier on the coats. Obviously, if you're painting something vertical, then obviously you've got to be careful that the paint doesn't sag and keep light coats. If the paint doesn't fully cover the model that you're painting or the surface that you're painting on the first two, maybe even three coats, that's not a problem because you just keep going until you build up the coats. But a light coat will dry faster and sort of stick to the model better than a heavy coat. A heavy coat will just lightly run off. So by spraying the light coats, you give the chemical reaction a chance to happen. I'm definitely no expert at spray painting. This is basically just how I do it, and it seems to work for me. If you've not really painted anything before, it should give you some idea of the process and stuff. But hopefully it helps. So here you can see a little bit of the orange peel effect on the bonnet where it's not particularly smooth. This does smooth out quite considerably by itself. I don't actually use a clear coat on this, and it smooths out not perfectly but enough that I'm happy to go with it and leave it as is. So this is now after a few days, and in these photographs you can see that the paint is completely changed the way it's finished. So in this one there's a little bit later, night time, unfortunately. It's not ideal time to paint unless it's a warm night, because if there's damp in the atmosphere, the paint won't adhere very well. And you can see by all the spray dust blowing around, this is why you need to do it in a well ventilated area, because if not, that'll be filling up your house and your lungs with fumes. But yeah, in this one I just took the seats apart and laid them out to paint them, and fortunately I just about had enough paint left in that tin to give them a reasonable coat. But yeah, I generally, the temptation is to put it back together as soon as you've painted it, and I have done that a few times, and I'll always end up with a nice big fat fingerprint in the bonnet somewhere or something. So now I'm slowly learning to leave it a few days or a week for the paint to harden up, and then that way it's quite safe to assemble, because the paint will be sort of fairly soft for the first day. Although it'll be touch dry, it'll still be actually quite soft. So these dried up quite well when they dried, and after this I basically just gave them about a half hour outside for the worst of the fumes to blow away, and then put them in a warm room in the house that doesn't get used, and the dog's not going to knock them, and left them for a couple of days before reassembling it, and they looked quite good by the time they put them back together, so that was a win. Okay, so I lost the footage of painting the yellow body base coat, so that's why I painted the orange one. So in this photo I sort of mask up all the bits that I don't want painted black, and then lay down all the pinstripes. Everything else is masked over, as you can see, and then just sprayed the black pieces, and then I also had a body kit to put on this with arches and like side skirts, which I pre-painted yellow, so the black arches will disappear behind the yellow ones that go over the top, just like so. And they're just stuck to the body with some like 3M tape. And I'll generally remove the masking tape within about 3 hours of painting it, because then it's not too hard to sort of flake off or anything, and generally leaves you with reasonably clear lines.